Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Groundhog Day Radio. I'm Dave, coming to you from the dog yard, but this week it's been the rant yard. I'm not going to let you down. I got one for today, so I think that's kind of 4 in a row, though. Maybe it's only 3. Anyway, I got another one today. It's about 3 o'clock. It's 83 degrees, high of the day today. It's hotter today, like 13, 14 degrees hotter. It's humid today. No breeze, kind of a dead calm, as we call it here on the Chesapeake, and a little bit thick. Anyway, feels more like an early summer day. Stas was all upset about something. Oh, mom's leaving. Amory's headed somewhere, but she's not talking to me now, so I don't know where she went. um, let's see, what are we smoking today? I'm in my secondary, my Oliva Series V Liga Especial. There, I don't know if you can read the Liga, and there's the Especial. That's what we're smoking. It's in my honorable mention 4. I've only got a couple of these left, so I'm gonna drop off the channel pretty soon because I probably will only stock. My goal is to stock only my top 10 and be done with all the randoms. It's a nice medium, slightly spicy cigar though. Here comes Echo. Here comes Chance. Yeah, hi buddy. Chance. Echo says, "Pet me, pet me." Chance, you want a pet? How you doing, buddy? Everyone's hot. Way over there is Finn. He's laying in his mud hole. It's just too hot to be out there in the sun, Dad. Here comes Sasha. She's like in the shade too. So we got the 2 youths way out there. And we got the 2 oldies, well, 11-year-old and the 5-year-old up here close against the chair. Kind of another beautiful day here. It's hotter, it's thicker today. It's 83 and humid, but still is beautiful. That green against that blue sky, against the white puffy clouds. Looking pretty good. I have a cavalcade of topics to talk about today. I'm trying to organize them in my head, and I don't think there's a way to do it, so I'm going to do it chronologically. So if it makes no sense to you, it's just kind of how my day went. So got up early because the roofers are still there. They're supposed to show up at 6:30, so I had to get up early and get all my chores done and get ready to get over to the mom's house by 6:30, 6:45. Well, that red clover field I showed you in the prior video, Amory and a friend wanted to take the horses out in it because we know the owners of that field and take morning light photos of the horses. I've got one I'll throw in here. It's got the lady in it, but you don't know her name, so I probably won't get shot for including it. So Amory's up early too. So before I left at 6:30, Amory and I have been together long enough. I mean, God, we've been together since 1988. So we can tell when the other one's not feeling right. So I went into her this morning and said, "Hey, before I roll out to mom's, I just want to say I know we actually have a lingo. We call it my aura is off because that's something from her past. But I said, hey, I know my aura has been off, and I just want to tell you, what you're mainly feeling is I used to call it anger, but I think I'm actually hurt with the way you're dealing with me, FaceTime versus cell phone, and you really given me an impression over the last 2 months that you care far more about who's in that box than me sitting in front of you, and you made that really clear over the last 7 weeks. So I just want to say it really bothers me, and I took the tact of saying, "Look, I'm asking you for a change, and that's really not fair. It's not fair for one human being to ask another human being to change." But I'm asking for a change in behavior, and that's when you and I are doing something together, FaceTime. Leave your phone somewhere else, because whenever it buzzes or dings, you just get right on it. I said, otherwise, I got to change how I react to it, and that means I'm going to start spending less time here in Maryland and a lot more time in Wyoming, because you really give me the impression you don't particularly care. She said, no, it's become a really bad habit. Sean even talked to me about it. It's a mistake. I'm sorry. Well, I'll address this. I don't want your apology. It's not what I'm looking for. Let's just fix it today and tomorrow and all that. So then I went over to mom's, and then I went to the paddock. Then I went back to mom's, and I came here. And now we're in the I'm not talking to you mode. So apparently she thought about it some more and got angry. So then I went over to mom's house, 6:45. Roofing crew showed up by 7 a.m., a little bit before 7. Each day they're getting earlier. Ready to hit it. Needed nothing. The roof looks great. They're not going to finish today, so the plan is they want to know if they can work Saturday. I said, absolutely. They're working all day today. They're coming in tomorrow morning early. They'll finish up by tomorrow before they leave. The dumpster's already scheduled to be picked up on Monday, and this thing should be good to go. So all good. No problem. Went over to the paddock, had a great morning over there. Went to Lido Pizza, if you know it, and picked up buffalo chicken calzones for mom and I. Took the buffalo calzones over to mom because she loves them too. Sat down, the two of us had a great lunch together. Fantastic. And then she says, hey, that's CBD oil, because we've had her on CBD oil treatment now. This is day 5. She's like, I can't believe how much different I feel. Some of the pain is still there, or my stiffness is still there, but my pain is almost completely gone. And I feel so good that I'm up cleaning the house and cleaning junk out and putting trash out. And I'm just cleaning up my house. And I'm like, Mom, that's fantastic. And then the rant. So the rant. Not really a good rant, but so we finished our lunch. Great conversation. Mom is obviously cleaned up, done her hair, put on fresh clothes, feeling good, cleaning her house. Finished lunch. She goes, oh, by the way, I ran off the mowers today. I'm like, what? So we've been paying a mowing service to come by every Friday morning during mowing season, cut mom's grass, weed whip it, blow it clean, and then once a month they send me the invoice. We've been doing this for 5 years now. I don't really know how many. Working great, working beautifully. And she said, yeah, I ran them off. I told them that they've been mowing my yard too often. I don't need them mowing my yard. What? What'd you say? Yeah, I ran them off. I said, okay, Mom. Hey, I got to roll. Good lunch. I'm driving home with that. WTF, what is going on? The females in my life have lost their minds. So I came home to a wife who's not talking to me, and I said, hey, Mom's feeling really good on the CBD oil. She's looks great. She's cleaning her house. She's getting rid of the trash. That's the good side. The bad story is she ran off the mowers. Now he's wondering, does he have a contract or not? Should he come back or not? But I'm out. I'll let you ladies figure out what the right solution is. So that may be where she went. She may have driven over to Mom's to go, what'd we do? So, but my God, perfectly running system. Running for 5 or 6 years, literally no issues. And the ladies in my life just gotta. What happens if I put my finger in the spokes here? What happens if I throw that wrench in that spinning machine? What happens if I fiddle and try to fix this thing that's been running perfectly for 5 or 6 years? So now I have no idea what's going on. So yeah, just like fourth day in a row of what's going on in the world around me. So therefore, I'm saying maybe it's a mirror. What am I putting out in the world? That my roofing friend tried to screw me. They ordered the wrong roofing materials the next day. Amory's is living on her phone all the time. And mom goes and cancels the mowing service with no idea how we're going to get it done from now on. So that's enough of my rant for now. But that's literally like 4 days in a row of just WTF moments for me. And that is rare. These WTF moments are relatively rare in my life. So obviously if it was a regular cycle, I'd be leaving a week from tomorrow. But with the graduation, I'm going to be here another 4 weeks. So I'm a little bit nervous about when I get back, the 2 or 3 weeks I have left. Maybe I have to leave early. But seriously, 4 WTF moments in 4 days straight. It's just crazy. Anyway, I don't understand the idea to tinker with system and processes and things that are working literally perfectly. Why do that? Well, boredom is a terrible thing, I guess. So an intelligent man might ask, well, Dave, why did you choose to say something to your wife this morning? And the reason is that a trigger event last night. The phone thing happened again last night, like not late, but like 8:30. We're sitting on the couch. That's our other time. We have sort of 3 times together in the morning. We have coffee time, dinner time, and then evening time. And we're sitting on the couch by 8:30. Sasha, boy, Sasha's on guard dog duty today. Anyway, she picked the show. We put it on. We're about halfway through it, and I start talking to her about it, asking her a couple questions. And I realize she's not answering now. There goes Chance in guard dog mode. And I realize she's not listening to me. And I look over and she's on her phone. She hadn't heard a single word I said or watched the show we were watching. And I said, you haven't heard a word I said? She looked up and said, what? I said I'm going to bed early. What? Why? Like, so that's why I chose to talk about it when we woke up this morning. So let's review our 3 marquees for the week. Marquee number 1 is stop wasting time. Get your ass out of bed. Number 2 is get off your damn telephone. Get off your damn cell phone. And number 3 is don't mess with a system, a plan, a process that's working. Don't tweak it. Don't fix what ain't broken. There, those are the 3 for the week. Can't wait to see what tomorrow's video has. So I had an idea for YouTube content providers last night. I thought that some YouTube providers should have much like a DUI lockout device that the court makes you install on your car. You have to blow into it before you can start your car. Some of our content providers need to have that on their iPhones. You guys should have to blow into your iPhone before it allows you to post your video. You're too drunk to post this video. Or maybe we tune it the other way and say you're not drunk enough, your video's not entertaining enough, you got to drink some more. I don't know which way to set the interlock device off, but it's funny. After watching YouTube the last couple of weeks, I thought some of the presenters I watch really need to have some lockout device to make sure they really want to post this video. That's my idea for the night. So that'll end the idea portion of the video. So I actually have a CEO school item today. In fact, tomorrow CEO school. I only got 2 guys coming. So maybe I'll have some more CEO school items from that conversation. Because like I always say, when I talk to you guys, my CEO students, counselees, whatever you want to be called, lots of times I learn something too, and I always try to bring it out on the video. So tomorrow I may learn a few things myself. But I've got one for you today, and that's pricing your product or your service. And what brings this up is my house cleaner of 30 years, Marva, announced yesterday she needs another price increase. So basically, rather than say anything mean, I just said, hey, let me know what you need to increase it to, and let me know when you need to change your price. But she's pretty much at what I think a house cleaning is worth right now. So I think there's more than that. She's pretty much at where I'm willing to pay for a single house cleaning. So we'll have to see where her new price she wants to go with it. But I think what we're going to do is cutting her from every Thursday to every other Thursday. We did that a while ago, but it's been, and I don't need, there's only two of us that live here, and half the year that's just Anne Marie. And I spend 2 hours a day cleaning the house because of the stupid dogs. I don't really need her every week. I've been carrying her for 6 or 7 years just because I know she needed the money. But I'm kind of done if she's going to raise rates. So, but the point where that translates into a CEO school item is beware, be cognizant, be situationally aware of what your service or your product is worth, not what you think it's worth. So I'll give you some stupid examples. So don't pick on the examples, but just use it as concepts. Like an oil change. If you go somewhere and say, well, I charge $50 to change your oil. I charge $100 to change your oil. I charge $150 to change your oil. At some point, it hits a number where you're like, an oil change is not worth that much money, and I'm going to have to go shop it. So if you're going to a local guy, you really like him, but his prices get to the point where an oil change, not from him, but just an oil change in general, is not worth that much money to you, and I need to go shop it now. Or or house cleaning is worth this much money to me, and beyond that, I have to start shopping because it's just not worth me paying more than this to get my house cleaned. And so, or how much is a baseball, or how much is a knife, or how much is a pipe, or at some point we say, I love these pipes, but pipes in general aren't worth more than, I'm not willing to pay $700 for a pipe. I'm not willing to pay $1,000 for a pipe. Everyone has their number, but at some point you price your product out of the sense of most people aren't going to be willing to pay anymore. It's worth, you've now charged not you, but people in general are not willing to pay for this much for a pipe, even a super nice one. So, or with Corvette Jim, his gun service, he could price himself out of people saying, well, it's not worth this much money for me to fix my gun. So we just have to be aware of what others are charging and what you think you'd be willing to pay. Just be cognizant of not pricing your product or service beyond where most of your clients consider it worth it. So just be aware of that. That's my one CEO school item tonight. So I thought a really good example that might be more generic for people. And so I've got a local deli / little restaurant right here in town, just 2 miles from the house. Chesapeake Deli is its name, and it was packed. I mean, he opened and it was fantastic. You order up front, the menu boards are up here. You order at the cash register. You go sit down. They bring you your food. Pretty basic. So a deli, kind of a deli plus, and the food was amazing. And he was packed. They were packed every night of the week, all year long. And then he decided he wanted to open a second deli, which is fine, but it wasn't doing as well, so he started raising prices. And the first 2 or 3 price raises were, the first one was fine. The second one, you're like, wow. The third one, you're like, oops, this is getting kind of expensive. And then he did a fourth and a fifth, and now it's empty. No one goes in there anymore. He had priced even his good food, he had priced it to the point where, a hamburger just isn't worth that. A sirloin steak isn't worth that. A wrap sandwich just isn't worth that. Not yours isn't worth it. Just the average American is not willing to pay $30 for a cheeseburger or $45 for a steak in a deli. And now, he's really struggling. And because the other deli isn't making any more money than it was when he started doing this 4 or 5 years ago. So now all his delis are starting to, struggle. So, but is he reducing the prices? He's not. So it's empty now all the time. Every night when I drive by, it's empty. So that's just one really good example of you can price a product to the point where people to say it's just that thing isn't worth that to me anymore. So there you go. So I've got one life school item. I know we got investment school, we got CEO school, and they will call this life school. Anyway, I got a life school item today. And the marquee for that is be wary of who you spend time with. And in the old days, that would have been easy. That would have been like, people you choose to sit with, go out with, who you become friends with. But in this world, I mean that and who you choose to spend your time with YouTube on, or Facebook, or Instagram, or X, or whatever, what TV shows you watch, what movies you watch, and who you spend time with. All those things. Who do you allow to put material into your eyes and ears? That's the marquee for it. Be wary of who you choose to spend your time with. So stick with me. I'm going to take you through a little circuitous route to get to my point. So when I was growing up, the church always taught us, make sure you marry a Christian. And the argument was that if a Christian and a non-Christian, or a churchgoer and a non-churchgoer get married, the argument from the churchgoers or the Christian is, well, I'm going to bring my spouse into the fold. I'm going to make him or her a Christian. I'm going to turn him or her into a churchgoer. And statistics over the last 50, 60 years have made it very clear. It's almost always the opposite. It's almost always the Christian becomes less Christian. The churchgoer starts going to church less and less, and eventually leaves the church. And that's just one example. Don't pick on it too badly. There's a bunch of them out there, but that's the one that came to mind because I was raised in the Methodist church, and they were very clear to us. At least my church, my congregation, was very clear on teachings to us, especially in our middle school and high school youth groups. They were like, as you guys form into couples, make sure you pick a Christian. The more generic discussion point is, when two people get together, the logical thinking is the good person, the driven person, the more ethical person, the more driven person, the more athletic person will push those good traits into the other person and pull that person up, sort of the hand up thing. And I think it's been shown time and time again that an angry person can drag down a happy person. An unmotivated person can quickly unmotivate a motivated person. An unfit person can unfit a fit person. Someone who eats poorly can drag someone who eats healthily into the abyss of pizza and cheeseburgers. And this matters on the business level, the religious level. It also matters on the personal level. Over the last year or two, I have two people very close to me in my life start spending more and more time together. One is sweet, loves life, kind of driven, makes things happen. And the other one is very selfish and angry and anxious and blamey and bitchy and complaining all the time, blaming everything is someone else's fault. And your hope would be that these two personalities start spending a lot of time together. You would say, well, maybe the person who's dark all the time sees this other person and says, I need to adopt some more. I need to be more positive and start taking responsibility and making things happen and become a better person. And in fact, what has happened is the exact opposite. The person who was sweet and made things happen and really never blamed anybody is now bitchy, grumpy, gets anxious really easy, kind of pops off on people, um, starting to blame other people. And I just say that as another example of be careful who we spend time with, because generally we don't notice when we start taking on negative traits from other people that we choose to spend time with. Lots of times we don't notice it. You know, whether it's starting to eat a little less better than you used to, or you drink more than you used to, or you complain more than you used to. It's slowly. It's like, everyone uses the boiled frog example. It's not overnight, but over the course of a year or two, you can really flip your personality switches and go from somebody who never complained who complains quite a bit, or didn't used to blame at all and now blames quite a bit, or was fairly hard to make anxious and then now anxious is almost the first stop on the journey. So anyway, I just throw all this out there as whether it's a business partner who's got different morals than you, whether it's a personal partner that's got characteristics that are negative, um, just be aware of who you're allowing in. Who are you allowing to influence? And don't lie to yourself about who's influencing who. Another good example is when I trained Sasha, my wife and my friends in Wyoming said, well, who's training who? Because and that's a true statement. You know, I've trained her quite a bit, but she has me pretty well trained as well. So that's the question, I guess, is who's training who? Who's changing who in your relationships? So enough of that. We're good. So guys, we're at I just assembled all the pieces. We're like 27, 28 minutes. So let's let's call this enough for the video. I'll try to get it back out in front of you tomorrow. Tomorrow's busy. I got her wheels rolling by 5:30 in the morning to get Amory up to her flight. So that's 5:30 here, 6:30 at the airport, 7:30 in the morning back here. Over to the paddock, get ready, 9 o'clock CEO school. That will probably run me to about noon. Get over to Mom's, make sure the roofing project is locking up the way we expected it to. Make sure Mom gets some lunch, get her something to eat. That should put me back over here by 3 o'clock, so it should be kind of like today. So hopefully right now my intention is to get back in front of you and hopefully talk about how Saturday went. But I guess with that, we'll go ahead and end this video, you guys. So hopefully you had a good Friday, you're having a great Friday night. Hopefully a great week is behind you and you got a good week planned in front of you. I hope you got a good week planned out in front of you for next week. Not too many surprises. So we're officially done with 4 months. Officially May 2nd. Pretty crazy. So 30% of the year is behind us. So I know some of you are already complaining that April isn't a great month, so that's not a good sign. Hopefully you're working on goals and progress towards them. I understand the Chicago Pipe Show is this weekend, so it'll be interesting to see how Pipes of Old Paul does at his. I know he's got to try to sell. He took 17 pipes. He's got to sell most of them to be on track for his year. So hopefully that happens. It'll be interesting to see what people think of the pipe show. I think it's one of the larger ones in the U.S. I just don't track pipe shows. That's something on my radar. But anyway, guys, that's it. Kind of at the stub, getting to the end of my drink. So I'll just end it as I always do. May God bless you and the lives of those around you. May God turn his ear to hear your prayer. May God make his face shine upon you and those closest to you. And may he bless your life like he continues to bless mine. All right, guys. Talk to you tomorrow. Good night, everybody.